Hi, my bunnies, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Beastars, because I literally just finished watching it. I've been seeing the Beastars hype everywhere. On Twitter, everything. People are loving it, and I decided to watch it, since everyone was saying so. And it just got on Netflix, so here we are. Now, I almost didn't watch it because I'm not a fan of CG, and I have not been shy about saying that I'm not a fan of CG. But I watched it anyway, and I will give it props for one thing. The actual, the visuals of the show are actually very pretty. I actually really liked it. I don't think it worked all the time for all of the characters, or the character designs anyway, but I thought that the visuals were very pretty, but I'm not a fan of Beastars. So why didn't I really like Beastars? Here's the thing. I think it was that I really saw the potential in the show, and it didn't really deliver for me. And I think what doesn't help is because I was very misled about what the show was going into it. So originally, and I'm not the only one who thought this going into the show, I thought that it was going to be a detective type show, where a haggard wolf detective goes around trying to figure out the death of this alpaca character. And I thought that's what it was going to be. So I was kind of like, you know what? I'll give this a shot because I love me a good detective thing. And I won't lie, first getting into it, I was like, this is just Zootopia. This is just Zootopia, isn't it? Like a dark, gritty version of Zootopia. And it kind of is. Let's not lie. A lot of people were just like, oh, Beastars is just Zootopia, but better. I mean, just because it's dark and gritty doesn't necessarily make it better, I'm pretty sure. I was fed up with it a few episodes in. There would just be, by the end of the episode, I'd just be like, okay, this went nowhere. I don't mind a slow burn anime. Give me one, that is like a slow romance. I love the anime Say I Love You, and that is a slow ass moving anime. But this one was such a slow burn, and I was just like, nothing came of the stuff that happened. So if the first episode establishes that an alpaca character was murdered and nothing came of it. They talked about it a little bit. They would bring it up here or there. They'd be like, oh yeah, like maulings are happening at night sometimes. They would just like randomly bring it up, but they never did anything with it. And you can't cock tease me like that. The second season like preview did tease it again. I think they're gonna actually go into this storytelling, maybe, hopefully, but you can't give me a whole season and not elaborate on that at all. If this were just a romance, if this were a love triangle romance between the wolf, the rabbit, and the deer, I would have been fine with that too. That, I love me a good romance. Give me that, with like a subplot about a gangster, like a Yakuza gangster black market deal. Just give me that. That's fine. Actually, after finishing, and I was discussing this with Catman and how I felt about it, and in case anyone is wondering what I have done to make Beastars appeal to me and what I would have liked to see in it. This is the story that I would have liked to see from Beastars. 1, take it out of high school. I'm done with high school animes, and I can deal with it if it works, but I don't feel like being in high school works here. It is a very dark and gritty anime. It is very bloody, and it goes very far sometimes, The main character almost kills a dude by ripping out his neck, and the deer character actually kills a person. I feel like this whole scenario would work better if they were adults. If you still wanted it in a school setting, put it in college. put it in college. Don't put it in high school, because what you get is you get teenagers, and I get it. That's the demographic we're going for, even though it's like super, like, I would consider this to be an adult anime. Still, whatever, you know, if you want to take a place in a school, do it in college. Them being teenagers and not like technically adults means that they're gonna go pretty far, but they're not gonna go too far. And I already discussed that I didn't like that in a video I made like 2 videos ago. I discussed that you can't do as much when they're teenagers. You're in like a certain parameter, and I don't think it works here. Put them in college. The next thing is, apparently the manga creator didn't want to make it a detective series. He wanted to focus more on drama, which is fine if that's what you want to do, but maybe don't throw in that detective thought at all then. But I say, to make it better, put in the detective thing. My immediate idea was like, so if they're in college, you make Lugosi, which I realize people really like, but I am not a fan of Lugosi. He's not the male character that I like, and I feel like people are going to look at me and go like, Carly, you don't like shonen heroes. You don't like these shonen dudes. Yeah, but I don't like a wuss either. He's just a little bit too much on the wuss side. He can be a badass, but he's not like, but then he's so introspective and shy that it's painful, and I'm not a fan of that. You want a good character who had that done well? Look at Tomoya from Clannad. He was a very thoughtful character. He was a loner. He wasn't necessarily shy, but he definitely thought about his actions a lot. He was very introspective, but he was a badass when he needed to be. He's such a strong character, and I didn't get that from Lugosi at all. Anyway, getting back on track. Make Lugosi, don't put him in the drama club, put him in college, and make him in school to be like a CSI or a detective or whatever. Like, I'm not saying Police Academy, I'm not trying to make it Zootopia, but I would rather focus on the detective part of it. So make him a CSI. And this brutal murder happens to this alpaca classmate of theirs, and he starts to investigate his death. And that's where he starts to uncover this lion yakuza that is running a black market of animal meat. And he takes them down after they kidnap his rabbit girlfriend. They can still have the love triangle. You know, just put them in like that CSI setting to create that tension. Because my problem was that nothing happened for like 8 episodes, like 7 or 8 episodes. It was just a love triangle kind of drama stuff that was happening. It was just a lot of little things that didn't feel like it mattered. And then boom, lion yakuza. And I was like, what happened? What is this now? It was so sudden, and it didn't build up to it at all, in my opinion. And so it like doesn't work at all for me when it's like that. So if they had led up to that and like slowly discovered it, then that would have been way more interesting. And you could still have the love triangle drama, because I love a good love triangle drama. And then, you know, once you hit that, hit that climax, because I will say that the climax is good, even though it happens very suddenly and out of nowhere. I liked it. I liked to see Lugosi get out there and kick some ass, and, Lewis showing up at the end and all of that, and Haru standing up for herself, kind of. I don't know how I feel about Haru, to be totally honest. She baffles me. Not baffles, but like, she's just, I feel like she doesn't show enough emotion for me to really care about her. I don't know. They could have done her better as well, but she, you could have had all of that stuff happen and then wind down and then, move on to the next season. I think that just would have been so much better to have them uncover it over time and whatnot. It's just like there was just too many things happening. And there were too many like subtle things happening, and I guess maybe I'm too dumb. Maybe I'm an idiot and I can't pick up on the subtleties of the anime. But I just was not picking up what they were putting down, and it wasn't engaging me. I fell asleep a couple times while watching it. I found it very boring, and we would get to the next episode and I'd be like, what was the point of that episode? The chicken episode with her with the eggs was completely pointless. I don't get it. I figure it's like world building, but it was world building that I didn't find necessary and actually kind of grossed me out a little bit. That whole episode could just be trashed. Like I said, I guess it was world building, but it wasn't world building that I found appealing at all. There would be weird questions that I would get to because I don't know, Zootopia was able to build their world without there being too many questions because they just didn't address it at all. Whereas here they were like bringing up, oh, well, what do the carnivores eat? Like, how do they get meat? Well, they don't. They have like a soy thing, but it just like, I don't know, raises more questions than it answers. I at one point was like, do the birds fly? Like the bird people who have human hands, but like bird wings? Like, connected to their arms? Yes, apparently they do fly. So I was surprised to get that question answered. Also, they're weird human feet I couldn't get over either. But my only other thing is, because of how like long and drawn out and honestly boring Beastars was, is it just could have been a movie. I think I would have preferred it if it was just a movie, because then they could have cut out all the like little boring things, and maybe then the story would be more cohesive in my mind. It was so slow moving, and just like there were parts that I liked about it. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I absolutely hated it or anything, but I'm not sure I'm gonna watch season 2. There were things that I liked. Like I said, the scenery and the visuals were very nice. If they tweaked the story a bit and whatnot, like there were characters that I liked, and I like the idea of Beastars, even though they never truly explained what a Beastar is. And I'm still mad about that. They briefly said that it's like the top of the top animal, I assume, at the school, but like what's the point if you're like 18 and you're about to graduate? Then it doesn't even matter in society. So what's the point of being a Beastar? What the fuck is a Beastar? I don't get it. The other thing that I liked was I liked Juno. Juno was my favorite character. She was very cute. She's probably the best design of all of them. I thought she was adorable. And honestly, I thought she was going to become a yandere a couple times. And I am not a yandere fan, but I would have totally accepted it if she was a yandere. The thing that I noticed retrospectively after watching it was that I saw a lot of people saying that Beastars was very good and it was their new favorite anime and it was amazing, but I never really heard or saw people explain why they liked it. And even now, I scrolled through Twitter, I looked at the hashtag Beastars, I looked through for a while trying to find anything about why people liked it. Was it the story? Like, what was it? The only consensus I can come down to is that it's a lot of people who really liked the characters, and at least the character design. People liked the animals, because all I could really find was fan art, and people just saying, it's a great show and I love it and you should watch it. No one is explaining why it is that they like it. I saw one article that kind of explained, like, why people were hyped about it, and a lot of the points I disagreed with because I felt like, yeah, they kind of did that, but they didn't go into depth about it. For example, there is a dialogue about Lugosi and his love for Haru, and this is an interesting concept. is in love with her, but he doesn't know why he's in love with her. He doesn't know if it's like a convoluted thing with him being a predator and he kind of is in love with her because she's food, or is he in love with her because he's actually in love with her? And that's an interesting dialogue to have. Too bad they barely elaborated on it. Lugosi would talk about it sometimes in his head, and he mentioned it to Haru once. And that's it. If he had taken the time to really think about it, or maybe discuss it with Haru, or maybe discuss it with other characters, then I would totally get behind that. But they didn't elaborate on it, like, at all, in my opinion. And this leads me back into my idea that I think is way better, is that if they put Lugosi in college, and especially because in the Beastars universe, they established that the adults get along extremely well, that society is great. And they point out, oh, it's because the black market exists, so all of the carnivores are like chill because they have meat. But ignoring that for a second, if as adults in the society, if they're basically pretty chill, but it's still like, I guess I'm going into Zootopia territory, if there's a little bit more of like a discrimination kind of thing between herbivores and carnivores, then in college, as adults, they can explore this, and he would be more able to explore the idea with other characters and expand on it. I also think that if they had put him in college, then he could have also not had Haru be his first love. I think it really confuses it when he doesn't even really know what love is. I think that if he had already had a previous girlfriend, he really only just has to have one previous girlfriend. Heck, it could have been Juno. They could have been like in high school and then they go to the same college, but she's like his ex now. That could have been interesting. But if he had already had a girlfriend, then he could go into his relationship with Haru and been like, yeah, I know what love is, but with Haru, it's very confusing, and he can elaborate on why it's confusing, but at least he's going into it with the idea of knowing what love is. But here in reality Beastars, he doesn't really know. He's a shy, introverted dude who can barely talk to a girl. So, yeah. I think that was the only argument that I really saw that I was like, yeah, okay, they kind of did that, but not really. Anyway, people have not seen anyone explain why they like it, and I also haven't seen anybody discussing if they dislike it. There was one person on my Twitter who I did see say that they weren't sure about it, that they had started watching it and they weren't sure if they were going to continue or not, or if they liked it or not. But I don't remember who that was, so I can't follow up on if they finished watching it and if they like it. But I just don't see anyone actually talking about Beastars. They're just saying to watch it, and I'm not seeing anyone saying that they dislike it, and I think that's weird. Am I in the minority? Am I the only one who was like, it was okay, but like, in my humble opinion, I feel like Zootopia did it better, and I hate to say that. Now, Zootopia gets a lot of hate in the Beastars community because they're like, oh, well, Beastars did it better. You have to keep in mind that Zootopia is pretty dark for a Disney movie, and it is a Disney movie, so I think that what Zootopia did was actually really good for what they had to work with. But the world was built so much better, and the characters were so much more likable. I felt very little for the characters in Beastars. I did not connect with Lugosi at all. Haru, I'm so unsure about. Towards the end, I actually was kind of digging Lewis, but that was towards the end. And I just couldn't connect with any other character than Juno, and she wasn't even in the show long enough for me to really build a connection with her. I just thought she was super cute. Whereas Disney has Zootopia, and you get an emotional bond with Judy so fast, and I just didn't get that from Beastars. I don't get it. Just don't get it. I think I'm going to wrap it up there for now. If you disagree with me, as I'm sure many people will, please let me know in the comments. Please, someone explain to me why you like the show. Please, someone explain it to me, because I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I'm not saying that it's bad if you like it. I'm just saying I don't understand the hype and why people like it so much. I just don't know what it is. So please explain it to me in the comments. Or if you're just as confused as I am, please let me know in the comments as well, and let me know that I am not alone in this. But I do apologize for if this video is a little bit scattered. I hope I got my points across pretty well. I literally just finished watching it like not even an hour ago, so I'm just trying to get my thoughts out there. So it's not like a super edited, polished video. So, you know, this things we do during quarantine. I just, you know, gotta keep yourself entertained. Anyway, so I hope you guys are having a great day. Stay safe out there, wash your hands, stay indoors, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!